The lobby of the Grand Regency Hotel in downtown Manhattan buzzed with the quiet elegance of five-star luxury, crystal chandeliers casting a golden glow over marble floors that echoed with the soft clicks of designer heels. But for Colton Harper and Jordan Ellis, the air felt thick with unspoken judgment the moment they stepped through the revolving doors, their hands intertwined just a fraction too tightly. A group of suited businessmen at the bar turned, their laughter cutting sharp as one muttered loud enough to carry, "Look at that! Fairies checking into the honeymoon suite?" Colton's grip tightened on Jordan's hand, his heart pounding like a war drum. At 32, he'd built a life in New York as a successful architect, designing spaces that welcomed everyone. But moments like this reminded him how fragile acceptance could be. Jordan, 2 years younger and a rising star in graphic design, shot back a glare that could freeze fire, his free hand clenching into a fist. They'd come here to celebrate their 5th anniversary, escaping the grind of city life for a weekend of romance. But already the world was intruding, mocking their love as if it were a punchline. They approached the check-in desk, where a young clerk named Emily glanced up with a practiced smile that faltered just slightly at the sight of their linked fingers. "Welcome to the Grand Regency," she said, her voice a touch too bright. "Names?" Colton gave them, watching her type efficiently, but he caught the sideways glance she threw toward the businessmen, who were now openly snickering. Jordan leaned in, his voice low and steady. "Is there a problem?" Emily shook her head quickly. "No, sir. Just confirming your reservation. King Suite as requested." As they waited for the keycards, Colton's mind raced back to how they'd met 5 years ago at a charity gala for LGBTQ rights, where Jordan's bold artwork had caught his eye amid a sea of suits. Jordan, with his sharp wit and unyielding passion for justice, had pulled Colton out of his shell, teaching him that love wasn't just about quiet moments but about standing tall against the storms. But storms like this, they tested everything. The businessmen's voices rose again. "Bet they think this place is a rainbow parade now." Colton felt the heat rise in his cheeks, a mix of anger and shame he'd fought to bury since coming out in his conservative Midwestern hometown. Jordan turned, his eyes flashing. "You got something to say?" The tallest of the group, a burly man with a red tie, smirked. "Just enjoying the view, sweetheart." The lobby seemed to hold its breath, other guests pretending not to notice, but Colton could feel the weight of every stare. Emily handed over the keys hastily. "Elevators to your left. Enjoy your stay." They grabbed their bags and headed up, the elevator doors closing like a sanctuary. Inside, Jordan pulled Colton close. "Don't let them ruin this." But Colton's mind was already spinning. How many times had they faced this? In restaurants, on streets, even at work events. New York was supposed to be progressive, but prejudice lingered like a shadow. Settling into their suite, with its panoramic views of the city skyline, they tried to shake it off. Jordan unpacked, humming a tune to lighten the mood, while Colton stared out the window, the incident gnawing at him. "We should have said something more," he murmured. Jordan wrapped his arms around him from behind. "We did enough. We're here for us, not them." But deep down, Colton wondered if silence was complicity. That night, as they dined in the hotel's upscale restaurant, the stares continued, subtle but persistent. A couple at the next table whispered, and when their waiter arrived, he seemed overly formal, avoiding eye contact. Jordan ordered wine with a defiant smile, but Colton could see the strain in his posture. The evening wore on, and back in the room they talked late into the night. Jordan shared stories from his youth in a more accepting California family, how he'd always fought back against bullies. Colton confessed his fears. His parents still barely acknowledged their relationship, calling Jordan that friend in holiday cards. "I just want a world where we don't have to prove our love," Colton said, voice cracking. Jordan kissed his forehead. "We will. One day." But sleep came fitfully, the mockery echoing in Colton's dreams. The next morning, they decided to explore the city, but the hotel's atmosphere felt tainted. As they passed the lobby, the same group of businessmen was there, nursing coffees. One raised his mug in a mock toast. "Morning, lovebirds." Laughter erupted. Jordan stopped dead, turning slowly. You think this is funny? Mocking people for who they love. The man shrugged. Free country, pal. Colton pulled Jordan away, heart racing, but the damage was done. They spent the day wandering Central Park, trying to reclaim their joy, but the incident festered like an open wound. By afternoon, Jordan was fuming. We can't just let this slide. That hotel prides itself on luxury for all. Let's see if they mean it. Back at the Grand Regency, they approached the front desk again, this time asking for the manager. Emily hesitated but called him over. Mr. Harlan, a stern man in his 50s with a polished demeanor, listened as they recounted the harassment. I'm sorry you felt uncomfortable, he said, but his tone was dismissive. Our guests come from all walks. We can't police every conversation. Jordan's eyes narrowed. So, discrimination is part of the five-star experience? Harlan shifted. We'll look into it. But as they left, Colton felt hollow. Another brush-off in a long line of them. That evening, the tension boiled over. At the hotel bar, the businessmen were louder, emboldened. One approached their table. You two make a cute couple. Ever think about toning it down? Colton stood, voice steady despite the tremor. Toning down our existence? No. The man laughed, but others joined, turning it into a spectacle. Security arrived, but instead of intervening, they asked Colton and Jordan to keep it civil. Humiliated, they retreated to their room, where Jordan paced furiously. This isn't just about us. It's about every couple like us. Colton nodded, a spark igniting. Let's make it bigger. They grabbed their phones, posting about the incident on social media, tagging the hotel, sharing their story with raw honesty. Hashtags flew. Love is love, end homophobia. By midnight, likes and shares poured in, the post going viral in hours. Friends, strangers, activists, support flooded their inboxes. But so did hate, vicious comments mirroring the lobby taunts. The viral post exploded overnight, transforming their private humiliation into a public firestorm. By morning, Colton's phone buzzed incessantly with notifications. Reporters from local news outlets reaching out, LGBTQ organizations offering support, and even a few celebrities retweeting their story. Jordan scrolled through the comments, his face a mix of triumph and exhaustion. Look at this, over 10,000 shares. People are calling for a boycott. Colton rubbed his temples, the weight of it all pressing down. But what if it backfires? My firm's conservative clients. Jordan set the phone aside, pulling him into a hug. We've hidden too long. This is our fight. Down in the lobby, the atmosphere had shifted. Guests whispered, glancing at their phones, and the staff seemed on edge. Mr. Harlan intercepted them as they headed for breakfast. Gentlemen, a word? In his office, he was all apologies now, his earlier dismissiveness gone. We've seen the post. We're investigating the incident. But Jordan wasn't buying it. Investigating? Those men harassed us in your hotel, and your security did nothing. Harlan steepled his fingers. We value diversity. Perhaps a complimentary upgrade. Colton shook his head. This isn't about perks. It's about respect. As they left, a reporter from a progressive news site ambushed them in the lobby. Colton, Jordan, can you tell us more? They paused, exchanging glances, then spoke candidly about the mockery, the indifference. The interview went live within the hour, amplifying the story. Back in their suite, Colton's mother called, her voice tight with worry. Honey, I saw the news. Are you okay? She paused. But maybe don't make such a fuss. Your father. Colton's chest ached. His parents' tentative acceptance had always come with caveats. Mom, we have to. For us, for others. She sighed. Just be careful. Jordan's family was different. His sister texted immediately, proud of you both. Rallying support here in LA. But not everyone was supportive. Colton's boss emailed, heard about the hotel thing. Keep it professional. The subtle warning stung, reminding Colton of the precarious balance he'd maintained at work. As the day wore on, protests formed outside the hotel. Small at first, with signs reading "Love wins" and "No hate in luxury." Media vans arrived, cameras flashing. Inside, the businessmen from the bar avoided eye contact, slinking away like shadows. By lunchtime, the hotel's corporate office issued a statement. The Grand Regency is committed to inclusivity. We are reviewing the matter. But it felt hollow, a PR bandage on a gaping wound. Jordan posted an update. Words aren't enough. Actions matter. The response was electric. More shares, more outrage. Colton felt a surge of empowerment. But doubt crept in. What if we lose everything over this? Jordan cupped his face. We gain more. Our dignity. That afternoon, they met with an activist group in a nearby cafe. Lena, a fierce advocate with years in the fight, listened intently. This could be big. Hotels like this set precedents. She suggested escalating, contacting influencers, organizing a larger demonstration. Colton hesitated. He wasn't an activist by nature, preferring quiet change through his designs. But Jordan's fire was contagious. Let's do it. Back at the hotel, tension simmered. Staff whispered. Guests stared openly now. Dinner was awkward, with the restaurant half empty. Word of the boycott spreading. As night fell, the conflict deepened. Colton received a call from his estranged brother, Mark, who lived back in Ohio. Saw your little stunt online. Embarrassing the family again? Mark's voice dripped with disdain, echoing their father's old lectures about normal life. Colton's throat tightened. It's not a stunt. It's our reality. Mark hung up, leaving Colton reeling. Jordan held him as tears came. He's wrong. We're right. But the emotional toll mounted, each barb reopening old scars. Meanwhile, the hotel scrambled. Harlan called them to a meeting with the regional director, Ms. Vargas, a sharp woman with a no-nonsense air. We apologize sincerely, she said. Those guests have been asked to leave. Jordan leaned forward. And what about your policies? Training? Vargas nodded. We're implementing sensitivity workshops immediately. It was a start, but Colton sensed the corporate calculation behind it. Outside, the protest grew. Chants echoing up to their window. Supporters waved rainbow flags, turning the street into a sea of color. Social media buzzed with debates. Was this genuine harassment or overreaction? Trolls flooded their inboxes with hate, but allies countered fiercely. Colton posted a photo of them together. Caption, "Love isn't controversial." It garnered thousands of hearts. But exhaustion set in. They barely slept, the city's pulse mirroring their own racing hearts. The next morning brought escalation. A counter-protest formed, conservative groups decrying woke culture ruining businesses. Shouts clashed outside, family values versus equality now. Police arrived to keep peace, but the air crackled with potential violence. Colton and Jordan watched from the lobby, hearts pounding. This is bigger than us, Colton whispered. Jordan nodded. That's the point. Harlan approached again, sweat beading on his brow. Please, help us de-escalate. But they refused. Change required pressure. As the day peaked, a viral video emerged. Footage from the bar incident, captured by another guest. It showed the mockery clearly, the indifference of staff. Shares skyrocketed, tipping the scales. Corporate issued another statement. We stand with the LGBTQ community. But words alone wouldn't suffice anymore. The story had ignited a national conversation, forcing everyone to choose sides. Colton felt the weight of it. The fear mingled with hope. What have we started? He asked Jordan that night, as sirens wailed below. Jordan smiled faintly. A revolution, maybe? The revolution simmered into a boiling point as the third day dawned, with media outlets from coast to coast picking up the story. CNN ran a segment. Gay couples hotel ordeal sparks nationwide debate. Colton and Jordan's faces flashed on screens in the lobby, guests murmuring in hushed tones. Jordan's phone rang off the hook. Interview requests from podcasts, talk shows. We should do some, he urged. Colton, ever the cautious one, agreed reluctantly. But let's stay focused on the message. Their first live interview was with a morning show host, sympathetic but probing. "What do you want from the hotel?" the host asked. Jordan spoke passionately. "Accountability. Real change, not lip service." Colton added, voice steady, "A place where everyone feels safe." The segment aired, drawing more supporters to the streets. But backlash intensified. Conservative pundits labeled them attention seekers, claiming the mockery was just jokes. Online, death threats trickled in, forcing them to report to authorities. Colton's hands shook as he blocked accounts. "This is getting dangerous." Jordan's jaw set. "That's why we can't stop." Family rifts deepened. Colton's father finally called, his voice gruff. "Son, this nonsense on TV? You're dragging our name through the mud." Colton's heart twisted. He'd always sought his approval, even after coming out. "Dad, it's not nonsense. It's my life." The line went silent, then clicked dead. Jordan's parents, in contrast, flew in from California, arriving that afternoon with hugs and homemade signs. "We're here for you," his mom said, tears in her eyes. Their presence bolstered spirits, but highlighted Colton's isolation. The hotel, under siege, closed its doors to new check-ins, citing maintenance. Harlan met them privately. Corporate is flying in executives. They want to negotiate. In a conference room, suits lined the table. The CEO, Mr. Langford, extended a hand. "We regret this deeply." But as talks progressed, tensions flared. Jordan demanded public action. "Fly the rainbow flag. Show solidarity." Langford hesitated. "That's symbolic. We can donate to causes." Colton interjected. "Symbols matter. They tell the world where you stand." The meeting ended in stalemate, but pressure mounted outside, protesters now numbering in the hundreds. Afternoon brought a twist. One of the businessmen from the bar went public, apologizing on social media. "I was wrong. Ignorance isn't an excuse." It humanized the conflict, sparking discussions on redemption. But others doubled down, forming online groups against cancel culture. Colton scrolled through forums, seeing arguments rage. "They overreacted" versus "homophobia has no place." It mirrored his internal struggle, forgiveness or justice. Jordan, more resolute, said, "Apologies are starts, not ends." That evening, a rally organized by Lena turned massive. Speakers shared stories of discrimination, drawing parallels to broader societal issues. Colton took the mic, voice trembling at first. "We didn't choose this fight, but we won't back down. Love deserves respect." Cheers erupted, rainbow flags waving like a tidal wave. Jordan followed, "To the hotel, do better. For all of us." Media captured it all, broadcasting live. But as night fell, counter-protesters clashed, shouts turning to shoves. Police intervened, arresting a few. Colton and Jordan retreated to their suite, adrenaline crashing. "Are we pushing too far?" Colton asked. Jordan shook his head. "No. This exposes the ugliness we face daily." Sleep evaded them again, the city's lights a blur through tears. Morning headlines screamed, "Hotel standoff. Pride versus prejudice." Corporate caved slightly, announcing donations to LGBTQ charities. But activists called it insufficient. Jordan's sister suggested strategy. Target their board. Shareholders hate bad press. They emailed influencers amplifying the call for the flag. Responses poured in, celebrities pledged boycotts. Allies shared petitions. Midday, a personal blow. Colton's firm placed him on leave, citing distractions. The email felt like a betrayal. "They say it's temporary, but..." Jordan raged. "Cowards. We'll fight that too." But Colton crumpled, doubts flooding. "Maybe we should have just left." Jordan knelt before him. "And let them win? No. You're stronger than this." Their embrace was fierce, an anchor in the chaos. The afternoon escalated when Vargas returned with an offer. "We'll host a pride event next month." Jordan scoffed. "Too little, too late. Fly the flag now." Langford joined via video. "It's not that simple. We have diverse clientele." Colton's anger flared. "Diverse except for us?" The room crackled with unspoken accusations. Outside, chants grew louder. Rainbow now! Rainbow now! As dusk approached a breakthrough, or so it seemed, Harlan whispered to them, "Corporate's considering it, but we need you to call off the protest." Jordan refused. "Not until it's done." The standoff held, emotions raw. That night, alone, Colton confessed his deepest fear. "What if this breaks us?" Jordan's eyes softened. "It won't. It makes us stronger." Their kiss was tender, a reminder of why they fought. But the battle raged on, high-stakes testing every bond. The fourth day broke with unrelenting intensity. The streets outside the Grand Regency, a battlefield of ideologies. Helicopters hovered overhead, news crews capturing the swelling crowds, protesters on one side with rainbow banners, counter-demonstrators on the other waving signs about traditional values. Colton and Jordan stood at their window, watching the divide widen like a chasm. "This is what we wanted, awareness," Jordan said, but his voice held a note of weariness. Colton nodded, though exhaustion etched lines on his face. At what cost? Corporate executives arrived in person, a phalanx of suits descending on the hotel. In a tense boardroom meeting, Langford laid out terms. "We'll fly the flag for Pride Month, donate substantially, and revise policies." But Jordan pushed back. "Pride Month is months away. Do it now or the boycott continues." Langford's face reddened. "You're holding us hostage." Colton interjected calmly. "No, we're holding you accountable." The negotiations dragged, egos clashing, but a crack appeared. Vargas whispered support for their cause, revealing internal divisions. Outside, Lena rallied the crowd. "They profit from luxury while ignoring equality." Cheers mixed with boos from the opposition. A scuffle broke out, police forming lines. Jordan's parents joined the line, holding signs, their presence a bomb. But Colton's isolation deepened. No word from his family since the call. He texted his mom, "I need you." No reply. The silence hurt more than words. Mid-morning, a surprise ally emerged. A former hotel employee went viral with a whistleblower video, exposing past incidents of ignored discrimination. "Management looks the other way," she claimed. Shares exploded, stock prices dipped. Langford called an emergency huddle. "This is damaging us." Jordan smiled grimly. "Good. Change hurts." Lunch was skipped amid the frenzy. Reporters swarmed as they stepped out briefly, questions flying. "Will you sue?" Colton responded, "We want progress, not punishment." But internally, he wavered. Legal advice from friends suggested a strong case, but litigation felt wrong. Jordan agreed. "This is about hearts, not courts." Afternoon brought personal reckonings. Mark called again, this time softer. "Dad's watching the news. He's thinking." Colton's hope flickered. "About what?" Mark sighed. Maybe he was wrong. It wasn't much, but it fueled Colton's resolve. Meanwhile, Jordan faced his own demons. Old friends from college distanced themselves, fearing association. "Cowards," he muttered, but the rejection stung. The protest peaked with a celebrity appearance. A famous actor voicing support. "Love is love." The crowd roared, media frenzy intensifying. Counter-protesters shouted slurs, police arrests mounting. Inside, Harlan pleaded, "End this. We'll fly the flag tomorrow." Jordan eyed him. "Today, or nothing." Langford relented partially. At sunset, it was a compromise, but victory loomed. As evening approached, emotions surged. Colton and Jordan shared a quiet moment in their suite. "Remember our first date?" Colton asked. Jordan smiled. "You were so nervous." They laughed, reminiscing amid chaos, a testament to their bond. Downstairs, preparations began. Staff unfurled a massive rainbow flag. Word leaked, crowds buzzing. Sunset arrived, the sky ablaze in oranges and pinks. On the hotel's facade, the flag rose slowly, billowing in the breeze. Cheers erupted from supporters, boos from opponents. Cameras flashed, history captured. Colton and Jordan stood on the steps, hands linked, As Langford announced, "The Grand Regency stands for all," but his words rang calculated. Protesters dispersed gradually, victory bittersweet. That night, reflections poured in. Colton's mom texted, "Proud of you." Tears fell. Jordan's family celebrated with them over dinner, toasts raised. But online debates raged. Was this true change or damage control? Allies hailed it as progress. Critics called it performative. Colton posted, "A step forward, but the fight continues." Exhaustion claimed them, sleep deep for the first time. Morning would bring checkout, but the impact lingered, a ripple in the pond of society. Checkout loomed on the fifth day. The Grand Regency's lobby transformed. The rainbow flag still flying high, a symbol of hard-won concession. Colton and Jordan packed slowly, the weight of the past days settling like dust after a storm. Staff nodded respectfully now, Emily at the desk offering a genuine smile. "Thank you for staying. And for everything." Jordan nodded. Change starts somewhere. But as they settled the bill, comped by corporate, doubts lingered. Was this enduring or fleeting? Outside, remnants of the protest lingered. Scattered signs, a few die-hard supporters waving farewell. Media lingered too, capturing their departure. A reporter asked, "Satisfied?" Colton paused. "It's a beginning." They climbed into a cab, the city blurring past, heading home to their Brooklyn apartment. Silence enveloped them at first, processing the whirlwind. Jordan broke it. "We did it." Colton squeezed his hand. "Yeah, but at what price?" Back home, normalcy felt surreal. Emails piled up, offers for speaking gigs, book deals. Jordan's designs gained traction from the exposure. Colton's firm reversed the leave, praising his courage. But scars remained. Family dynamics shifted. Colton's father sent a terse email, "Saw the flag. Maybe visit soon." It was olive branch enough. Mark called apologetic. "I was an ass. Let's talk." Healing began tentatively. Society's response was mixed. Editorials debated triumph for equality versus overblown drama. The hotel's bookings dipped initially but rebounded with new clientele. LGBTQ travelers flocking for the symbolism. Corporate announced chain-wide changes. Mandatory training, pride partnerships. But skeptics pointed to profit motives, questioning sincerity. Weeks later, Colton and Jordan reflected over coffee. "Do you regret any of it?" Jordan asked. Colton shook his head. "No, it showed us who we are." Their love, forged in fire, felt unbreakable. But the experience highlighted broader issues, systemic bias in hospitality, the fragility of progress. Friends shared similar stories, inspiring a support network. The incident sparked policy reviews in other hotels, lawmakers discussing anti-discrimination bills. Yet backlash persisted, conservative boycotts, online harassment. Colton and Jordan became reluctant icons, their story a touchstone for debates on civil rights. In quiet moments, Colton wondered about the businessmen. One's apology led to his own advocacy work, a ripple of change. But others remained defiant, embodying entrenched views. Jordan's optimism balanced Colton's caution. We moved the needle. Their anniversary, delayed by drama, was celebrated simply. A picnic in the park, hands intertwined without fear. Laughter returned, love reaffirmed. But the world's judgment lingered, a reminder that acceptance was ongoing. As time passed, the flag became a fixture at the Grand Regency, a beacon for some, a provocation for others. The story faded from headlines, but its echo persisted in conversations about tolerance. Colton and Jordan moved forward, stronger, their bond a testament to resilience. Was the hotel's decision to fly the rainbow flag a heartfelt embrace of equality, or merely a calculated move to salvage their reputation?